scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune and lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Brilliantly's got the soul to show you. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Hear the whispers in the city's hum, echoes of stories where we're from. A beat, a step, a voice so clear, the pulse of us, it's all right here. We got soul, we got flavor. Every moment is a savior. Every experience is an overcomer.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Friendly's Virtual Tour Live. We are live on tour. If you've been watching us for a good minute, we have been talking about Big Girls Wanted, Escaping Paradise. We reviewed part 1 on Friday, part 2 on Saturday, and right from the space right here and right now, we're about to review part 3. And I said this upon you yesterday. You cannot have a story with a beginning and a middle without an end. And oh, buddy, this documentary team, personally, I think that this should be nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars. I really do. Because the precision, the care, and the sincere honesty in how they went about this was such a breathtaking sight to see. I have never been so mentally beside myself before until I've seen something like this. And Stephen, I did say you're the white male version of Elizabeth Holmes. And I did say you are the white male version of Anthony Lofties. But you are also basically the white male version of P. Diddy. Let's get this motherfucking shit started. It's time to talk about Higher is Waiting, Low is Available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. And might as well just add that you are the white male version of Milagro Grams. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is, hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. Trigger warning for everybody of what we're about to get into. If you haven't caught up on part 1 and part 2, this is to the replay gang and to everybody here live. If you want to catch up on the series, I suggest you do part 1, part 2, and then get to 3. If you watch this first, you are not going to understand the energy I have for part 3 if I understand part 1 and part 2. So let's get to it. My God, today. So we start off episode 3 with Cast. As you guys know, in part 2, we found out that Cass passed away. Yeah. Oh, heavy. Cass talked about, don't wait, to live your life. Don't wait to live your life where you become skinny, rather. And Pal shows up. By the way, Pal, I saw the Patrick Star outfit. That sister right there, Jesus. Ooh, a tall picture of Kool-Aid that I would love to choke on, disrespectfully. She's a beautiful woman. Moving on. So Emily says that Emily Kasich, who is a photojournalist, who resides in New Orleans, Louisiana, led by Tara Roulette. Let the good times roll, baby. Emily Castick says that Cass wanted people to feel beautiful about themselves, and she was inspired by Cass, and she felt the way she felt until she saw Cass, right? So Cass was very, very big. I mean, I think she probably had like what 300,000 followers on TikTok, over 1 million followers on TikTok. She was popping on all social media platforms, right? And Emily saw the rest in peace post, and Emily asked Stefan what the fuck happened. And you know the song that you hear at Disneyland and Disney World? It's a small world after all. 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 And now we'll add Timon from Lion King 1.5. Everybody now, it's a small world after all. 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 Now, as we know in part 2, Pal cut off the friendship to Cass because Cass is still talking to Stefan. Cass weighed over 100 pounds, and she had sleep apnea, and had to be on a scooter. And the first time that Cass almost died was in Stefan's house, where she finally died. And I don't mean that in a derogatory, degrading, or disrespectful fashion, but follow the red bouncing ball here. Where she finally passed away was closer than anyone could think. Cass died in New Orleans, Louisiana. Same city that Emily Cass is in. I want to say to Emily, right? First of all, I am so sorry. And whether you are a photojournalist, whether you are a video journalist, whether you are an audio journalist, journalists matter. I don't give a damn what some incompetent incel waste of life that should have been swallowed by his mother, Mary, who right now should be in the ring in Washington, D.C., get his ass whooped disrespectfully to the highest degree, says about fake news and journalists or this, that, and the third. Without journalists, how do we communicate about the world that's going on today, right? So I say sorry to you, Emily. I can only imagine how heavy that emotion was. The thoughts running through your head, the coulda, woulda, shouldas that you could have done. But also, too, you didn't know where Cass was at. I don't think Cass will want you to take on that pain. Quite frankly, it really incenses me that this beautiful woman, Cass, who should still be here, the ending of her life was caused by Stefan. Just like AL killed Kiki, Anthony Lofties killed Kiki Jabbar. Moving on. Now, with that being said, I don't think you really want to go against me, bro. Because we all know, though, you communicate with her back and forth, and everybody being on her, that contributed to Kiki Jabbar's death, bro. Don't try me. You're the same one that said, "Oh, I got anxiety. I'm so sorry, Brent. Everybody been watching me." Like I said, you made a song called "Leave Me Alone," but yet you don't leave anybody alone. Okay, child. Moving on. I'm making parallels, y'all. Don't mind me. So, after all that, Cass passed away due to harm on her body through deaf feederism. Now, for those of you who don't know what feederism is all about, it is when a person gets turned on by somebody eating. that can lean into ASMR, right? But death feederism is basically what you are believing is feeding somebody to the point of them dying. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. That's where we are. So, like I said, sleep apnea, fell out of bed, cat, sleep apnea, Cass had rather. Cass fell out of bed and stopped breathing. And Cass found freedom in feederism, financial freedom, because you can get paid to eat. Can. And Cass also felt free from the chains of fat phobia, but it was a false freedom, according to Simpiana. Hal said that Cass should have been able to do more in her life. And I'm sure that Cass would have been one of the great BBW models of our time. She probably would have been having a clothing line, perfume line, doing television. Probably would have been at Swim Thick. But because of this fucking white cracker piece of shit, Cass is no longer here. And just because you didn't contribute directly, you had an environment that was conducive for that to happen, Stefan. You did. You did, and you did. Moving on. So, Hal said that Stefan doesn't take responsibility for what he does and how it affects people. And it's only a matter of time before this happens again. I want you to keep that in mind, what Powell said. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. And the producer asked Powell, do you think that if she had met Stefan, that she would have lived? And Powell said that Pearadise killed a part of Cass. So there's different comments from all the women about Cass. And Stefan feels that being accused of having something to do with her not being around anymore is the ultimate dagger in his heart. And that everybody loved her at Pearadise. He loved her, and that they missed her. He misses her. And Stefan said feederism can be dangerous, right? And Stefan said that at the house, Cass was not into feederism at the house. But Emily says that Cass was into feederism at the house. And Stefan knew what was going on. And feederism pretty much is just a big show of how big you can get. Big, pun intended. And Emily says Stefan knows what he's doing. And he knows what he's doing right, but he does see the nuances of what's happening. Cass felt powerless. Because you got to remember, you have allegations of Stefan doing that same. You have people not want to be Cass's friend anymore. You also know that Cass did content with Steven and others. So being utilized as an outlet, but nobody investing in her as a human being. So Cass can have an outlet, right? What happens when you push down on the gas pedal and you don't get control? You eventually crash the car, right? Follow the red bouncing ball. Kimmy hearing her words about Cass. Remember how I said that Kimmy was doing way too much to Cass? Kimmy owns her part of the damage and says it falls on her, but she does not say sorry. I think that a sorry is due, Kimmy. I get what it is to try to defend your community. I get it. Hell, I do it every day. On this channel, I do. I defend a little bit of everybody. But I also recognize that there's a line, there's a limit, and there's a pressure point. I'll push anybody. So I try to give love, grace, and space as much as I can. At this point in my life, I only give love, grace, and space to people who actually deserve it. That's where I'm at. Doesn't mean my heart's not open. Doesn't mean my heart's not willing to love. Doesn't mean that I don't make myself available. If everybody else got the right to act a fool, I got the right to act intelligent. That clock that ticket blew up. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody can have to text somebody to be something. So I am always being intelligent. Others act ignorant. Until it hits their doorstep, and then they want to cry, bitch, moan, and complain. They want help, but keep that same energy. Moving on. So, but like I said, I don't hate Kimmy though. I think Kimmy was trying to do something good, but she did go too hard in on Cass to me. She did. She absolutely did. So Emily said that there were several truths in the story, but she can only be honest about what she has seen. And she saw her own humanity in there. And when Emily got back home from Las Vegas to New Orleans, Louisiana, she didn't deep dive into her photos and the videos and everything that you gathered, but she did in doses. So Emily sent it to an editor that she had, and the editor said no. And sometimes your dream may be delayed, but it's not denied. And maybe this was the platform for Emily's work to be seen. So Emily wants to go back to Pearadise, right? And she never really closed the door on it. And if there's a TikTok live, she'll watch it. And I'm not going to blame Emily for this. I think that this is a coping mechanism. When you don't feel seen, heard, and embraced in your own community, you will go to your comfort zone. That's why I think Emily is going through. She's trying to figure out her comfort zone. And Heather said that for the longest time, she didn't understand how the women could just flip the switch because they were all friends. And Heather, for a long time, believed the girls blew everything out of proportion with the essay until you go through it yourself. Which is why it's always important to hear everything out, not just what you selectively want to hear. So in March of 2022, Stefan and one of his friends who's a female, unlike Dusty Eastdale, the drag version of Dougie Fresh, but moving on. Stefan and one of his friends, who's a female, she reached out to men on Tinder, which personally, Tinder doesn't work like that. They don't have like a group chat where you just put everybody in. So I don't know how that happened. I guess she went back to her mattress and said this hey, there's a group of BBWs that want to hook up. So this woman said, when they come, I'm gonna choose who I want, and y'all figure out who else I want to hook up with. The men showed up. There was a man in the pool trying to reach, Heather to take off her clothes. So there was a girl that pulled in Heather, right? And the girl was gone out the pool. There was a guy that groped her, and Heather got fingered. Okay, I'm telling you this as straight as I can. I'm only clutching myself because I know what the end of this is. And I'm trying to breathe through this. So when Heather told Stefan said, "Oh wow, I'm sorry." Stefan didn't know the guys, and Heather doesn't know the person's name and can't sue if she wants to. But that changed Heather's mind on essay. With Stefan, there's no remorse. There's no, oh, damn, this needs to change. And Heather was done and said the house is not safe. And, there is a thing called Stockholm Syndrome, right? And a whole word that I'm not even going to say because it's been so bastardized in that fucking broken, dilapidated sector. Okay, I'm not going to say the word. If you know, you know. But it was too overused, child. Too overused, too overused. So, with that said, when you feel safe in an environment, you're going to do anything you can to protect anyone and everyone in that environment that's making you feel safe, right? And so that's what Heather did. April 2022, Heather wanted to say sorry to all the girls, and Heather messaged Kimmy. But here's the thing, right? So y'all know Discord, right? Discord's like the AOL or Yahoo chat room, but it's just a bigger chat room, right? You have all these communities and stuff. So apparently there were minors messaging Stefan, and I'm not saying alleged here. All of this is from the 3-part docuseries. Everything I'm saying happened in the show. Happened in the docuseries, rather. So I'm not making anything up. Nor do I have to in order to have a platform. I say I don't get notices from companies saying I don't know how to create original content. I'm not stuck in dribble all the time. Because why? Give me a moment.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
One more time for the one more time.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Thank you, Anonymous T. Moving on. So like I said, Stefan was talking to minors, and the Pearadise Discord, there are adults there, but apparently there are minors who are plus size as well. But Stefan was encouraging them to send pictures and communicate with him, and he was waiting until they turned 18. And that's what we call grooming, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So now we get back to Heather. When Heather left Pearadise, Stefan called Heather a traitor. I find it interesting that when you are there under his womb, kumbaya, balo, kumbaya. Oh, it's so good to see you. Bring it in, bring it in. Oh, yes, the thickiness, yes. I'm not going to disrespect King Julian. I'm sure King Julian would strike this channel if he could, okay? That's the lemur from Madagascar. You know, I like the shaking and the bodies and everything. You know, I don't want to offend him. But anyway, with that being said, it's mind-boggling to me how when you're there, it's cool to do anything, everything. But when somebody wants to stand up for themselves, now it's a problem. It wasn't a problem when you were getting the milk, the butter, the burgers, and everything else. But when the cow says, "Oh no, I don't like being slaughtered like this," mentally, now it's a problem. I want you to keep all this in mind, because wait till you hear what's at the end of this, okay? And don't worry, I know that we have, Hard Hustle Houston at 8:30. So I think we're kind of getting there. We're almost there, y'all. So just give me some time. And if I need to, I will move it just to make sure that we have quality time on both shows, okay? So don't worry. I've done this over 1,000 times, y'all. I got this. So after all that, right? After Stefan called Heather a traitor, Cipriana, who is the mother of Stefan's twins, says Steven's sweet spot is 22 years old, and that there is a 24-year age gap between Cipriana and Stefan, and how Stefan treated the twins, the boys, depending on how well Cipriana treated him. So she packed up and then looked back. Congratulations. Anytime a man or a woman knows their worth and says, listen, I don't know what the end is going to be, but I know that I don't have to stay in this. And there can be a new beginning for me. There can be a new joy for me. There can be many more blessings for me. I'm not staying in this curse no longer. Well done. Well done. Well motherfucking ass. Well done. With that said, remember when I talked about the kitty cat, which was a tampon, inserter, and it has spermicide in it? Remember that? Well, apparently, after Cipriana got pregnant, he wanted all the women in the house to go to the doctor to get AB pills, right? And he wanted to crush it up and put it in their drink. That's like Quaalude energy. That's like Bill Cosby energy. Ladies and gentlemen. Moving on. So allegedly, the plan was to put Plan B in Cipriana's drink so there would be a spontaneous miscarriage. And Stefan made a joke saying, oh, this bitch did this and this and she shouldn't have those kids. And he was making that as a joke. Bruh, nothing was funny about that. At all. At all. At all. What the fuck is wrong with you? So Stefan said, you can say these things as a joke in private. Who laughed at that joke? Nobody, baby. And so Stefan says his relationship with the boys are non-existent. And he has to protect his mental health. And here's the gag, darlings. He said that those boys were conceived against his consent. But you have to remember, though, Stefan and Cipriana were friends with benefits. So, did you not consent to being a friends with benefits with Cipriana? I'm just asking questions. So, Cipriana said the women will help the boys with that time to tell about Stefan. And, I want to take a moment out right now and say that all villages are not the same. They're not. Now, I know some villages, they have people who have abused the nieces and nephews in the family and have abused this, that, and the third. Those villages are fucked up, are parasitic, and they need to be eviscerated off the face of the earth. Do you hear me? And then there are other villages that, while they may not be blood, they carry themselves with blood energy of knowing right is right and wrong is wrong. Knowing that history and totality matters of who a person is. But most of all, they have a compass of being responsible for what they do. And so, if those boys get raised by Cipriana and those women are better mothers than the sperm donor that Stefan was. There are lesbians and gays that are raising children better than some heterosexual mothers and heterosexual fathers. Some men, I'm sorry, because Anthony Lofties is not a man. Some waste of life that should have been swallowed by their mothers like Anthony Lofties should never be a father. And some women like Malago Rams should never be a mother. It was the fact for me that you have this community supposedly, but yet you say that those boys were conceived against your consent. Those boys were conceived against your consent. Those boys were conceived against your consent. Told you I'm not done yet. Let's keep going. So Cyprian is worried rather about the boys and the boys asking, why didn't you treat our dad better? Because the pain of not having a dad. And just because he provided the sperm doesn't mean he's a dad. There are plenty of father figures around here that will take care of them like they are their own. And there are some men who have never had children that will be better fathers than people who do have children. And some of y'all know them, and some of y'all know that there are some women who can never have children, but they are more of a mama bear than the woman who can actually push out children out of her vagina. Okay? All right? Moving on. Now, with that being said, he is chaos personified. Child, sounds like this person is also the white male version of Martell Hope, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on. Yeah, this is the white male version of Destiny Payne. But moving on. He has tried to villainize Symphorina. So after Symphorina has figured out what she wanted to do, had your twins, the twins that you say were conceived against your consent, you want to vilify the mother of your child. Okay. So now there's a new girl in Pearadise, and she's 22 years old. Her nickname is Rizza, but her name is Christina Strope. She's 22 years old from North Carolina, and she is a Pearadise member from 2025 until now. And she says she is indefinitely visiting Pearadise. So she comes from a small town trailer, 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. And Stefan's house is huge, right? So Krista got out of a relationship with her ex, and he was an extreme feeder, right? And the ex wanted Krista to eat a full sheet cake. And she would force feed herself and then throw up. And she's got appetite issues to this day. Fuck that piece of shit bastard. People have to understand what my mom has always said to me. People have to earn the right to hear your story by add to that, modernize that, contemporize that, and Braylonize that with people have to earn the responsibility to be a part of it. I just wonder to that ex, if somebody did what you did to your daughter, how would you feel? Somebody did that to your mother, your grandmother, your niece, your cousin, anyone that you know, how would you feel about that? Them having to force feed them and throw up for your enjoyment. Fuck you, disrespectfully. Moving on. So after all that, for Christina Struth, Stefan has been her biggest supporter and her cameraman. So Krista does belly videos, full body pics, and she does OnlyFans, so she does fast shots content. She is not into hardcore feederism, and whatever money that Krista gets, she gives to Stefan willingly, right, on her own. Rizza loves Stefan. Stefan is single, and he's very friendly with everybody. He's close with everybody, and Rizza's cool with that. And the girls do their own social media content. Or the girls do their own thing. So Stefan says the most I get out of all this is a home cooked meal. And Stefan is kinky and hands-on. But Krista is okay with that. Krista has 23,000 followers and gets 1 million views a month. Okay. Now, what I found so interesting is I was waiting for Ashley Graham. Waiting for Precious Lee. I was waiting for other BBW models. And listen, I get it. Everybody's got the right to move how they want to. But I felt so bad for Tess Holiday. Because she was the only BBW model in this 3-part docuseries. The only one. The only one. Now, I'm sure the BBW miles maybe was, scheduling conflict, what have you, this, that, and third, things happen. But Tess should not have been the only one to speak about plus size community. So Tess Holiday says it is a spectrum from positive to negative about BBW women. And media industries are part of the problem. I fully agree with that. We have been conditioned to believe that fat is gross. You guys remember when Lizzo was, the old Olympic in South Park? I think that was cool. I mean, I get it. It's South Park is like the cartoon version of SNL, right? But also, too, it's like, really? Is that what we're doing? Really? And then you look at the GLP-1 movement. And personally, I think it's just a fucking cash grab, honestly. It really is. People want to talk about COVID shots and say how much that was a cash grab. I'm sorry, COVID actually happened. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. There were people who had to put their hands through rubber gloves to say hi to their parents and grandparents. There were doctors and nurses that could not hug their children because they could pass COVID to their kids. There were retail workers, firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and many other industries that got punched because of COVID. You mean to tell me GLP-1s are supposed to help people? Sometimes, y'all, people will create something just to divide something. Some people will create something just to divide something. Some people will just create something just to divide something. And so the choice to be fat or whether they are trying to lose weight, that narrative is dangerous, it's dehumanizing, it's exhausting. And I agree because some people, right? Some people are medically fat. That is a thing. Some people actually look better with curves. For example, nobody liked the skinny Raven Simone. I'm gonna be real with you. Let me pull something up. Because I'm going to show you the Raven Simone I was attracted to. And millions of men were attracted to, okay? This right here. Hell to the low. I mean, come on. Come on. Yes. Okay? This album cover right here. And I mean, she had the album cover where it was just her eyes. You know what hurt me the most about Raven Simone? And I'll never forget it. Oh, and by the way, let's not forget this here. No. Let's not forget this when she did this to her titties on the Wendy Williams shot. Child. And then, of course, listen. I remember when Raven, 602 minutes, 6027. Child, listen. Better be lucky I wasn't on the Disney Channel, because that's Raven or Raven song for this episode. Because child, it would have been it would have had to go on Hulu. But I don't even think Hulu could handle the energy that I would have been bringing. Okay? All right, T. And then, of course, right here, just come on. The thing that really hurt me the most about Raven Simone was when she said that she would go out on dates. She didn't want a guy to pull out her chair. Didn't want the guy to pay for the bill because she felt that she was going to be Personally, if I got the chance to date Raven-Symoné, I would just be fascinated with just who she is as an individual. And she recently said that, she really doesn't like acting. She just happened to be good at it. But what you did and what you do with being on set brought more people together. By the way, do y'all know that Raven-Symoné was one of the top of the top shows on this show, to the point where they had a revival. Like, that fueled Disney Channel for years, that show, and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and Phil the Future. Shall I go on? So fuck GLP-1s, disrespectfully. If they're working for you, great. But do not let GLP-1s dictate to you if you are a beautiful BBW or not. Okay? All right, just wanted to put that out. Oh my God. Okay. So, then we get to The Biggest Loser. You guys remember that show on NBC? September, so Examora was on The Biggest Loser, all that stuff. And so then it goes to September 3rd, 2024, Examora arrives. And she's an influencer and a friend of, Pearadise. That's what Stefan says. And Stefan says that Examora is funny, original, and makes TikToks that make you laugh. And there's a thing called a mukbang. That's basically where you eat and you drink on camera, right? So, Stefan wants the ladies happy and healthy too. And he said that Cass was not on the other side of what she was going through. Zoe was on the other side, right? And Shay Vital, keep that name in mind. 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 Shay Vital said that TikToks were made with Zamora and there were family dinners, but Zamora got sick and quiet. She didn't come out of her room for days, so people in the house got concerned. On January 7th, 2025, Zamora was incoherent. She was crying. She was not in good shape, and her skin was not good. Her oxygen was down to 60. Yeah. So, with what happened with some more is that she got pneumonia, right? She got pneumonia. Give me a moment, y'all. Give me one moment. I want to make sure of something real quick, if y'all don't mind. Give me one moment, y'all, because I want to make sure that I get this right. My God. I'm telling you, episode 3, in the words of many people, that phrase took them through there. This took me through there, y'all. So she had pneumonia and the flu. She had pneumonia and the flu. She had pneumonia and the flu. Okay. So Examar was incubated and put into a medically induced coma several times just to save her life. Examora lost the ability to walk. And Examora said TikTok that she never got to live her life, and it's sad. But she was on TikTok and mukbanging. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, if you lost your ability to walk, and you say that you never got to live life, and it's sad, then why would you bang on TikTok? What do you do when you're struggling? You do what's comfortable to you so you don't have to deal with the pain. So Examora was trying to document her journey of trying to gain her ability to walk again. And then we get to August 13th of 2025, week 32 of Examora's recovery. So the ladies of Pearadise and Stefan came to visit. They, ate, did TikToks, spent time together. There was a viral TikTok that made 1.4 million views. And people have said, Stefan's the reason why Examora is in the hospital. And Examora said, what an utter amount of bullshit. And Examora says, I know what he has been to me. He has been a friend. He never fed me. He never paid for my food. So Examora is in rehab, right? So she is doing a remote interview. And Examora says that she didn't go to Stefan's house to get fat. She was already fat. And she started TikToks in 2019. She was already making videos again. Examora was at 620 pounds. 620 pounds, right? And Examora hanging around the house, she didn't know about feederism. She'd never been around with men with fetishes, and she does feeder content. She has in-person feeders that people will go, to Pearadise and basically, feed her, right? And Dr. Chris says we can eroticize anything good or bad, and when we get to that point of being comfortable with what we see, it's nearly impossible to turn off, especially when it comes to feederism. And Examora says that she does feel lonely. People DM her on TikTok, Instagram, and she still does because she enjoys it. And Dr. Chris said that it's a trifecta of doing content. It's the trifecta of risk rather than doing content creation, because that feeling of being wanted and desired, it can get to you, right? So the night before, Examora went to the hospital. Examora and Stefan were having a deep conversation. And Stefan cried as he said this. He said, I don't want something to happen to you. And it's like he saw gas. You know how sometimes when you make a mistake, sometimes you just see a ghost. Sometimes that ghost is clean and pure and the person you remember. Based on how you treated them, they could be a zombie version. They can be the scarred up version. Visions are real. And how you think and how you move determines how you flow in life. How you think and how you think and how you move determines how you flow in life. How you think and how you move determines how you flow in life. So then we get to September 22nd, 2025, week 37 of Examora's recovery. She has a gallbladder surgery, and she's about to turn 30 years old. She said this on TikTok. Then we get to October 17th, 2025, week 41. And surgery goes great. And with everything that she goes through, she's learned to love herself more. Now, it was a scary thought for me because I'm like, oh no, is this another woman that's going to die? And she does, PT, physical therapy, and occupational therapy, I believe. What is OT in the world of therapy? Okay, I was right. Occupational therapy. Okay, gotcha. She was doing physical therapy and occupational therapy every day, 5 days a week. Examora felt safe at Pearadise, but she could see how others see it differently. So then we get to January 2022. Kimmy, the person, Miss Stardust, said that it's not cut and dry. It's not black and white, that all she cared about was those girls. And I'm sure now if Kimmy could talk to Cass, she would say sorry for all the pain she caused. I think that we have to let people breathe, let people learn, let people grow. He or she who has not sinned cast the first stone, right? So Stefan sued the ladies for $1 million, right? But he didn't want to win $1 million. He just wanted to scare them. And they were, going through this. They were going through all this in a year and a half. And so, as Kim was about to make a video, their lawyer said they're throwing out the anti-slap lawsuit, which means Kimmy can keep speaking out about this, but Kimmy feels trapped because this is something that's never going to be done because Stefan's never going to be done. So then, September 2025, Kimmy and Savvy talk. They catch up, right? Very nice chat. Kimmy says, "I will fight with you anytime, anywhere, any place." And so Audrey, Audrey's getting celebrated in Fremont Street for taking off, her dress. Audrey says it will be a safe haven, always has and always will be for Pearadise. Shay Mattel says that I'm not a victim and nobody in the house is a victim. And asks us why do we want to be here. Tiana K. Buck says, living in this world that does not want me, Pearadise will always be a part of my life, always part of who she is. Krista, go back and look at her name right. Krista Stroop says, and I quote, looking back, it's super unbelievable that she's comfortable in her skin and she's alive because of it. Stefan says he still believes in Pearadise and that we all need it. Stefan likes to treat everyone like I like to be treated. But Stefan apologizes to all the ladies and he says he will eventually forgive these girls until his story is his closure because he doesn't want to carry this around for the rest of his days. And y'all, in the world of film, television, they don't really say this on radio, but basically, when the show is ending, they say, cut! They did that. Stefan was still mic'd up. You know what Stefan said? After all of this, he said, what you're really looking at is a bunch of bitter bitches that didn't get what they want. A bunch of bitter bitches that didn't get what they want. A bunch of bitter bitches that didn't get what they want. This is what Stefan said. Now, you would think after Kaz passed away, right? You would think after all the allegations, after he still has women there, that he would just, in the words of Maurice Scott, lay their roll over and take it and move and, try to figure out how to move forward. And he said to the viewers it's going, to the viewers it's going to look like a TikTok drop. No, TikTok is a part of it, but that's not everything. You, sir, and the environment you caused created the circumstance. You and the environment caused the circumstance for all this to happen. And TikTok was just a vehicle for it to be seen, sir. And Powell, the beautiful Powell, says that they are trying to move past this, but he never does. So fall 2025, Stefan is still upset. And Stefan still continues to hurt Alex, also known as Porkchop. And so Ivy says that footage of Alex being undressed gets posted onto TikTok. Now recognize in, I believe it's part 2, that the cameras are audio enabled. So to post somebody undressing in the house, just trying to walk around, because you could do that in your house. And the post to social media is asinine, disrespectful, and just beyond the pale behavior. And, Ivy said that's vile shit. You don't do that to anybody. Stefan said, I never made any unprovoked content unless it was to defend myself. Sir, you posted somebody naked in the privacy of their mental onto the internet. You don't get no love, grace, and space, sir. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir. So, apparently, some people, Stefan's contacted him and said, why would she do that shit? And then this is what Stefan says. You ready for this? You ready for this? You ready for this? Stefan goes on to say that she was a sloppy, hang on, y'all, because I see we're pushing the show. So give me a moment. Because I really want this to break. I really, really do. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, yo. I'm gonna push our Hustle Houston back just a little bit to 8:40. So those of you who are waiting on that, do not worry. We are going to do it. I just want to make sure that this story gets told fully for everything that needs to be. And we got a lot to talk about Hard Hustle Houston. So please be there for that at 8:40. Just try to let this story breathe. Okay, we're good. Okay, so like I was saying, oh my God, this is what Stefan says. I couldn't go on TikTok and say she was a sloppy whore at my house taking her fucking shit off in my living room. I'm gonna repeat that 2 more times. I couldn't go on TikTok and say she was a sloppy whore at my house taking her and she was taking her fucking shit off in my living room. One more time for the one more time. Stefan couldn't go on TikTok and say she was a sloppy whore at my house and she was taking her fucking shit off in my living room. She wasn't a slopping whore when you hugged her when she came into the house, Stefan, was she? You didn't mind slapping her on her ass and doing little belly meat to her, right? So Stefan deletes the video. Alex says Stefan is grasping at straws, and Ivy says it never stops. And Ivy, I think, says it best. If Pearadise is a safe space for big girls, the world has failed big girls. So all the ladies unite. One of the women said empathy will make the world a better place. Cynthia says sorry and she feels like herself again. And those women seem to be like a family. So I send nothing but light, love, and prayers to each and every one of those women. And Cass up in heaven, much love to you, beautiful. I wish you could have been a Cass Lee. I think we would have had a good life together. Child, I showed y'all the face card, okay? Listen, we listen. Amen. Praise him. Hallelujah. So Emily says that the culture will push fat women so far to the point where Pearadise is a better option. But really, it's the backdrop of how we treat each other. And so I hope that we can see that we should be better than this, in so many words. And Tess Holiday, I felt like she was just speaking to the camera. It was just one-on-one. You have the right to live your life fearlessly, to experience joy and happiness and love and passion. And one day, we hopefully can be seeing more than just our bodies. Tess Holiday, well done to you, my sister. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your dedication. And just thank you for your vulnerability and recognizing that just because this story didn't happen to you doesn't mean that you could not put your voice on it. Thank you for that. Ivy is singing a song about freedom. And Ivy wishes she could tell her younger self that's going to be okay, that you deserve more. You deserve family, friends, and people who love you unconditionally, along with many other well wishes for her younger self. So we get some updates at the end. Examara hopes to be released soon, but it remains in rehab. Pearadise still is growing on social media. Stefan is still inviting girls. Emily Kask hopes to finally publish her story this year, and when she does, she has a home here. She can tell her story full as she wants to. That's what this platform is all about. Going on tour to the destinations that the culture is talking about. Making love, grace, and space for space. Making love, grace, and space for voices and platforms and entities that don't get heard often. That's what we do over here. Phoebe, the website that does, that's for BBWs and, big heavy men. And it's a dating site, it's a community site, all that stuff. They could not be reached for comment. If you need more information, go to wbd.com/where-tubes-turn. And I had a heavy feeling at the end of this. something else is about to happen. Now, remember, Examora had pneumonia and the flu. She's still here. Cash, she has sleep apnea. Had to use a scooter and had respiratory problems. I think she also had pneumonia as well. So as I get ready to end the episode, as I'm watching it, one final note comes in. It says May of 2026. This just happened last month. Shay Vital fell ill while living at Pearadise. She was taken to the hospital for difficulty breathing. Remember Cass, the respiratory problems? Shay Vital passed away hours later and was reportedly due to influenza and pneumonia. She was 36 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Big Girls Wanted Escaping Paradise Season 1, Episode 3. I can't. I'm beyond disgusted. I'm beyond heated. I'm beyond what I should be able to legally do. As a child person, I want to get a bag of things and help Stefan with those things. 1 + 1 can equal 2. Okay. Now, Stefan has 2 boys. That he said was conceived without his consent. Thank God he didn't have a daughter. What Stefan is doing with these women, he should be locked up. He should. I don't care what Nevada says. Sexual assault is sexual assault. There's levels to it. Now, you saying, a compliment or, talking about, things of the weather, swimsuit, sundress, oh, I like that pattern, stuff like that. That's not harassment. That's not sexual assault. There's levels to this thing, right? But the thing that really got to me was after the love of your life passed away, and after Shay Vital passed away, and there's a pattern of people not being able to live their best life, that you would say, and I quote, my God, the bunch of bitter bitches comment. You have a harem of women, but yet there's some ungrateful bitches that didn't get what they wanted. So there were some ungrateful bitches. What makes you the meat carver that just enjoyed slaughtering socially, of course, mentally, emotionally, of course, and you enjoy cooking them, doing recipes on them in any shape, form, or fashion? You fucked up piece of shit bastard. May you get everything you deserve. And then some, and I hope you don't make it. With everything in me. Y'all, that's it. If I can leave y'all for daily motivator for this one. For one, give and it shall be given unto you. How you give is how you receive. If you can't feel the emotion from all 3 parts of this after show review series, I don't know what to tell you. That's the first thing. Be careful how you give, because that's how you receive. Number 2, we have to do better at being more intelligent about the news that can hurt us, than talking about news that can't help us. By the way, I saw some updates on Carmelo Anthony. There's a whole law firm that got tagged and they're about to step in. I got a feeling that there's some people that want to see Jeff. I mean, he is closer to the casket to die than the cradle start life to become something important, but that's neither here nor there. Second thing I want to say is, well, that is the second thing about it. We have to be more aware of what we don't want to be aware of. We have to be more aware of what we don't want to be aware of. We have to be more aware of what we don't want to be aware of. And finally, the third thing, just remember that just because it exists doesn't mean that it's a necessary contribution. Just because it exists doesn't mean it's a necessary contribution. Just because it exists doesn't mean it's a necessary contribution. I'm not saying Pearadise can't do good things. Stefan doesn't need to be running it. It needs to be some organization that actually is for BBWs. Sadly, you can't really do nothing with the brand because it's tainted. It's damaged. It's a waste. But in that same token, let's give love, grace, and space to all those women who are still there because they're trying to find their place to belong to. That being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you want more special because you are always want to bless and trust. You may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Last one thing, call yourself. It's another to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. And hopefully, by spending time together, we're some great together. And always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or you're just recognizing just because you are alone doesn't mean that your life is this, that, and the third. I think sometimes we give ourselves a sense we don't have to serve. You end your sense of feeling guilty for still being here and in peace. Make sure the replay is not just for you. Watch it. That's for you. Let's do it if you want to experience it again. I love you. I value. I embrace you. Always remember, see love you gotta give it. See love you gotta give it. See love you gotta give it. Where obstacles you've overcome, where success you have achieved upon this particular day. I'm extremely proud of you, but no one's as proud of you. Proud of your damn self. I think when Emily's book comes out, I think it should be a television series on HBO, scripted. I think also, too, there needs to be a Big Girls Want to Escape in Pearadise reunion. To Investigation Discovery, Warner Bros. Discovery, I will gladly host that reunion. But just a couple stipulations. One, we need to do it live. Number two, we need to do it in front of a live audience of other BBW models and influencers, different organizations like Shapely, Curvy Ventures, Swim Thick, Curves Closet, which is a business, Juicy Bye Guys, which is another business. I can go on and on and on. And then there needs to be men that sincerely love BBWs, not as a fetish, but as the totality of who they are. And it needs to be 2 hours long each episode. So that's part 1, part 2, and part 3. This story is far from over. And let me tell you something. When something ends, it's usually the beginning. Commercial break and fireworks are coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's coming, for the blessings on the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as a people, as a culture. I feel the love. It's right back to you. This is your final tour for the evening. Good evening to you, by the way. Good morning, good afternoon to you based on your location. I will see you all here in 10 minutes for Heart and Hustle Houston. We're live. Got a lot to talk about with those ladies, too. All right. Love y'all. Peace. And Cass and Shay. One love, much love, and all love to you as well. Whoa.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because
I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.